Hello, Sana ma'am. Good morning.
Hi Anushri, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. So, give a small introduction about Samayu and what we do. So, Samayu is an movement of people and organization who care about the interconnectedness of animals, people, and our planet, working together to create a just, fair world for all. We currently have around 42 partners across India with whom we are growing our community in working collectively on foregrounding the interest of animals and nature in the respective work areas of environment, climate change, public health, social justice, animal exploitation, and more. Speaking about Food and You, our consumer outreach campaign, Food and You, is designed to spread consumer awareness about the harmful impact of animal agriculture and is meant to cause diet change towards a plant based diet through effective online and offline approaches. Well, why do we have Food and You, right? It's a big question. Well, intensified farm setups for livestock, poultry, and aquaculture are a growing reality in India. The sheer scale of these operations, widespread government support, weak regulations, and consumer demand for animal based products in India are all responsible for the massive animal suffering in these farms. So, our consumer outreach campaign, Food and You, Make the Change, is designed to spread awareness about the harmful impact of animal agriculture and is meant to cause diet change towards a plant based diet through our effective online and offline approaches. Currently, we have reached 3.6 million people across India, and we have interest of 40,000 people who have taken pledges to try to change and upgrade their diet. We have a simple message to our audience. If the diet is so important in shaping our lives, why shouldn't it evolve along with everything else? So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker today. So, Ask Me Anything session today, it's edition 4 this time. Every single time we have new creative speakers who come on board and speak about their experience of being a plant-based nutritionist, the testimonials, and what are some of the topics. And today's topic include about plant-based protein sources. So let's dive deep into protein rich plant food and debunk myths surrounding protein intake on a plant based diet. About Sana, a small introduction about our speaker today. So, a seasoned plant based holistic nutritionist boasting over 7 years of invaluable experience in her profound exploration of nutrition, Sana identifies the root cause of contemporary lifestyle diseases as residing in our dietary and lifestyle choices. She's based out of Kolkata, and while she also believes while genetics undeniably contribute, Sana asserts that a significant, that is 80%, rests firmly within our own hands. She passionately champions the transformative potential of lifestyle modifications, particularly the shift towards a plant based diet. Sana believes in the profound impact of nourishing our bodies with wholesome plant based foods, serving as essential fuel for optimal functionality. Through her journey, Sana has borne witness to remarkable transformations where diseases have undergone reversal and individuals have experienced enhanced physical and mental well being through the adoption of a plant based lifestyle. Sana feels deeply blessed to be armed with this knowledge, expressing gratitude for the opportunity to guide individuals towards reversing lifestyle diseases and reducing the dependency on medications. Welcome, Sana, to our
Thank
fourth
you.
edition of Ask Me Anything.
Thank you, Anushri, so much.
Great. So Miss Sana, I would ask you, what is your journey been as a plant-based nutritionist?
Okay. So I am basically a biotech engineer, and 7 years back, when I came back to Calcutta again from Bangalore, which I did my graduation from, so I joined one company in Calcutta, and I joined as a trainee to write articles on nutrition. So that's how the journey started. So I used to write many articles on, plant-based nutrition. That was the time when I actually realized the power of, plant-based diet and the actual diet that we are following, drinking, too much of dairy products, consuming animal food. That was the time when, I understood that how harmful these are in a day-to-day diet, right? So the company which I joined, I served over there for 4 years, and from content writer, I switched after, I went in intensive training where I got training on, how to deal with, clients and how, everything about nutrition was taught in general. So it was a 4 to 5 months intensive training. And then I onboarded as, the head nutritionist over there. And post that, I did my nutrition course from AFPA online, where I am, certified as a holistic nutritionist. And I delivered my baby in 2019. So I had to, leave the job over there. So I shifted to, my own work, which is Purple Cabbage, which I've been doing. And I'm really very grateful for this knowledge that I have, which, really helped me people, reverse their lifestyle diseases, which actually should not exist because most of these diseases are actually created because of the lifestyle that we live, the food that we eat. Everything is based on that.
I agree with you, Sana, on why it's important to have a lifestyle that is. Diets are very important in terms of how we are going to prevent our diseases and have a healthier lifestyle. I would like to ask you, tell us more about Purple Cabbage. What do you do at Purple Cabbage? How long has it been? And what is the mission of Purple Cabbage?
Okay, so Purple Cabbage basically, it has been started off three and a half years back, and the main aim of Purple Cabbage is, to help people reverse their lifestyle diseases, which includes like diabetes, fatty liver, asthma, PCOS, all women-related issue, initial stages of cancer also. And even if we cannot, reverse the disease, at least we can make their lifestyle much better. We can reduce the dependency on medications, which, people are spending enormous amount, on medication. It's about, telling people what is the correct lifestyle. And lifestyle in the sense, it just does not include, food. Food is just one part of it. It includes your sleep, your activity, your daily routine, what you think, how you, do your entire day work, everything. So it's basically that's the thing, it comes holistically. So that's all Purple Cabbage is about. And I have served more than 100 clients in Purple Cabbage. And in my previous company, it was more than 2,500 clients plus, where I've dealt with, about their day-to-day nutrition. And then when I see people, reversing their diseases, especially the ones which can be easily reversed, people just don't know about it. For example, if you talk about diabetes, right, people are taking insulin, on day-to-day basis, 80 units, 100 units, and, taking medications day and night. Simple issues like gastritis, bloating. People are dependent on antacids, for all these things, and they do not know what are the side effects of, such medications which is happening in the body. And all these can be easily reversed with the help of, a plant-based diet and proper lifestyle. So in
Wow,
Purple
that's a very,
Cabbage,
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so in Purple Cabbage, all we do is we design, health plan for people, and it's customized health plan based on your needs, your issues. And based on that, I help people to overcome all the issues that they are having. And I need at least a span of 3 months. And within 3 months, you will definitely see a very, very much, positive result.
Wow, that's a profound work that you do there, Sana. Helping people reversing their diseases is definitely it's a miracle work that you do. I'm so glad to have you on board again. So I would like to start off our topic regarding plant-based protein.
Yes.
So I have been plant based from 9 years now, and the
Okay.
most consistent question we I get to hear is that where you get your protein from,
Protein from
and most of them keep asking that. Oh, I think people who are on a plant based diet do not have enough protein in their diet.
protein,
Yeah, and protein, because we have this preconception that protein comes only from animals
animal
and
fat.
it doesn't come from any other plant-based sources. So this is mostly the challenging aspect of turning your lifestyle, which is from completely animal-based diet to plant-based diet. So I have a set of questions prepared for you, so maybe you can help us debunk some of the myths, about protein deficiency on a plant-based diet.
Definitely.
Great. The first question is about protein essentials. So, what are some essential proteins that individuals can easily incorporate into their plant based diet?
Okay. So, just a small brief before I dug into, protein. So we have, two types of nutrients basically. So the food that we eat, we emphasize on two nutrients. One is macronutrients, one is micronutrients. Okay. So protein falls under macronutrients, and other two macronutrients are carbohydrates and fat. And all of them are equally needed by the body. Today, people have this myth that we need too much of protein in our diet. We should go on a low carb diet, and fat is actually just not needed. But trust me, everything together in balanced amount is needed by our body to function properly. And the micronutrients are like, minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients, antioxidants, which actually help in the disease reversal part, right? So protein is nothing but, it's basically made up of amino acids, which is the building block of protein. And if anybody is asked, why do we need protein? People will say, muscle banane ke liye chahiye. That's the first thing, which people say. But other than that, protein plays a very, very important role in, in creating hormones in our body, in creating enzymes in our body to, create certain body fluids, right? And it also helps in muscle recovery after, we do some workout, right? So protein is needed for all such functions. It's just not ki muscle banane ke liye chahiye, right? Now, there are 20 amino acids, which are needed in our diet. If we consider only plant-based diet, right, it is little difficult to find all 20 in, one set of food. Therefore, we need to have, a mixture of all plant-based food to get all the essential nutrients that is of the protein that is needed, right? So there are 9 essential proteins, as you asked, and rest 11 are non-essential. Non-essential means our body can actually produce these protein, but the essential ones which are there, our body cannot produce. So we need to have them in the diet. Now, what are the sources of these essential proteins? Essential proteins are like isoleucine, leucine, tryptophan. These are certain scientific terms that I'm using, right? Uh, Methionine, lysine, we have phenylalanine, we have histidine, we have. So these are essential proteins. Now, all these are completely available in, in a plant-based food. For example, all soy products, tofu, tempeh, then zeatin, then we have quinoa, we have amaranth, we have buckwheat, which is also known as kuttu, right? Then we have peanuts. Yes, peanuts have all the essential proteins which is needed in a, diet. Then we have other sources like chia seeds, hemp seeds. All these have essential proteins, right? So we need not worry about, getting protein from a plant-based diet.
Thank you for that, Sana. That's right. There's so many essential proteins that is available right in our plant-based diet itself. Um, Great. So let's move on to the next question. How can someone ensure they're getting a balanced intake of all essential amino acids on a plant-based diet?
Okay. So as I mentioned that there is not a single food which contains all the essential amino acids, right? Right? So we need to have a mixture of, if we are on a plant-based diet, we need to have proper intake of fruits, vegetables, beans, legumes, nuts and seeds. Overall, your entire day should revolve around, all these things. Suppose if you're having like a rice. So rice has certain essential proteins. That's the reason we combine it with, any lentils or legumes, that is dal, chickpeas, rajma. So then this wholesome meal gives us the entire essential proteins which is needed by our body. Now, suppose if you have chickpeas, so chickpeas you can mix it with quinoa. Quinoa has all the essential proteins, and you'll get furthermore protein from the chickpeas, right? So this way, if we do a mix match of nuts and seeds of grains, legumes, so we can get all the essential proteins which is needed, and there'll be no protein left out as such in our diet.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. That includes your cereals, your nuts, and fruits and veggies, combination of all of it.
Everything.
Great. Um, so, what are the common myths about protein deficiency in plant-based diet, and how can we dispel them?
Okay. So as you have mentioned that I have been practicing this for the past 7 years, अभी तक तो कोई आया नहीं जिसको protein deficiency है, right? So it's just a myth, that people have created so much of hype about protein कि protein नहीं खाएंगे तो deficiency होगा, or we are not getting enough protein in our diet. So, as such, there is no such thing which is known as protein deficiency. It used to occur long time back when people were devoid of food. If you are on a fasting state for more than 3 days, 4 days, when you're not eating anything, right? So that time your body is not getting enough protein. And in case if you see that you are having too much of weakness, fatigue, if fractures are very common in some person, or you have brittle nails या फिर brittle hair, that means if you have any of these 2 3 symptoms, you are protein deficient actually then, right? But as such, be it on a plant-based diet या फिर normal regular diet that you're having, nobody is protein deficient because a body does not need that much of protein. Nowadays people who go to gym, immediately the first thing that they're told over there is you have to increase your protein intake, you need to take protein powder, you need to eat so many eggs to get protein. But these are just overhyped things, and people, instead of making good health, they're actually destroying their health in a way, right? So
That's absolutely true. I think in the last Ask Me Anything session, we had some participants who were asking question about whey protein. Like how is whey protein important for people who go to gym? So what is your take on it, Sana?
okay, so for people who don't know what exactly whey is, so it comes from a dairy product, right? So whenever we, curdle the milk, that is to get the, paneer or chena that we say in Indian, um, the water which is left is actually, it's called the whey protein. Okay, from that you can make whey protein powder by concentrating it, or the liquid is also available, right? Now, since it's coming from a dairy source, that is an animal source, it is just not advisable to consume whey protein because any form of dairy is actually harmful for our body. And the reason, if I just want to just explain a bit further on dairy, is that cows give milk only when they are pregnant, just like humans, right? So they are not pregnant, naturally. They are forcefully impregnated with the help of, artificial hormones and all, and it's a very painful process. Now, when the cows lactate, that is when they give milk, right? All the hormones are also coming down in the milk. All her, pain is also coming down in the milk. So when we consume, this milk in the form of dahi, paneer, curd, ice cream, anything, milk itself, all these are going inside our body, be it organic milk, be it inorganic, A1, A2, any milk you take. These cannot be, removed from the milk. You can just make from, organic milk pesticide free, antibiotics free, वो सब हो सकता है, but these hormones cannot be removed in any circumstances, right? So
Mm-mm.
the dairy which is actually coming to your house is just not doing good to you or to anybody. And the suffering which, the cow or any other animal who's producing milk is they're undergoing is just terrible. The lifespan have reduced drastically, and we do not need dairy. We do need calcium, we do need vitamin D, but we have plenty other sources of such thing to avoid such sufferings. And dairy in general creates, too much of havoc, too much of hormonal, disorders in our body. We should definitely avoid dairy and the way which is coming from it. We have plenty of plant-based protein sources available. Even plant-based protein powders are available, so we can rely on that instead of, having any kind of animal-based products.
That actually makes sense. I mean, I was grown up in an environment where we were asked to drink milk
Milk,
products,
everything.
conditioned to drink milk products, and I just did not know that there is suffering behind milk as well. Because for me, suffering was only meant if it's a meat product. But I never associated dairy as well with suffering. And
Suffering.
I did a little bit of a small investigation with a nearby farm where they had only 15 cows. And even with just 15 cows, they use suctions, they do artificial insemination, and they also pump in oxytocin inside the
Oxytocin.
cow. And there is no limit or a proper regulation regarding the antibiotic usage. So they pump in how much ever antibiotics they want in their food, in their water, all of it. And seeing all this, I thought, does it make sense for me to consume dairy on a continuous basis? And I did not find it to be useful for my diet, and I did some research as well, and that is when I stopped consuming dairy products. But of course it is mostly applicable in city, especially in industrial farm setup, but it may not be true in rural and tribal setups. I completely agree on this, that there is a difference in how city people are raising our what do you say, farm animals, compared to what the rural people are growing their farm animals. um, Great, so let's move on to the next question. Can you provide examples of successful athletes who thrive on a plant-based diet, showcasing its adequacy for physical performance?
Yes, so the number one athlete that everybody knows in India is Virat Kohli, right? He is on a complete plant-based diet. And we need not discuss about his performance because we can definitely see, what he is actually performing. So he is on a complete plant-based diet. Another one that I can discuss is about the football team, head, that is Sunil Chetri. Even he is on a complete plant-based diet. Then there is this another one, which is Lewis Hamilton. So he is the Formula number one, driver. So he is also on a complete plant-based diet, right? Then there is this one more, Tia Blanco. She is a number one surfer. Okay. So there are many athletes, which we can discuss about. And trust me, the energy, the stamina which they need, we do not need such things. And if they can survive on plant-based diet and perform so well, so imagine there is actually no need of animal food. It's just a myth, which industry which everybody is creating around ki what happens, if you consume animal based food, your performance will increase, your activity level will increase, you will have, too much of muscle mass and everything. So we do not need such performance in our day to day activity or day to day life which they need. If they can, survive well and perform well on a plant based diet, we can easily sail across on, normal diet.
That's true. I also heard that plant-based diet for athletes make it like very lean diet. So it only the energy required is there on the plant-based diet. But if you are there on an animal source, there are unnecessary energy which you again have to digest it and fuel it up in a way that is helpful for your body, because most of the animal-based diet is not really helpful for your digestion as well. Is why
True,
I'm.
true.
Thanks for that, Sanam. Um, is there a difference in how the body absorbs protein from plant based sources compared to the animal based sources?
Okay. So, yes, there is a difference. And this is a little contradictory statement, but we need to understand why, again, we favor plant-based, protein. So, the protein which is coming from an animal source is actually digested much better as compared to plant protein. But the food that that you'll be eating from animal source like dairy products, any non-vegetarian item like chicken, beef, pork, fish, anything, they are loaded with saturated fat. They do not have fiber. They do not have antioxidants, which will actually help in reversal of disease. Rather, they create disease in our body. And that absorption rate of animal protein and plant protein is just 10 to 20%. It's not a very major difference, right? So we need to avoid intake of such food which actually creates disease. खाली 10% absorption rate ज़्यादा है, इसीलिए we should imbibe into animal protein is just not the logic. So we should definitely favor plant-based protein. Be the absorption rate 10% much lower, that's absolutely okay. But at least we are not intaking any kind of saturated fat or any you know heavy metals which animal food have, seafoods have, which plant-based sources doesn't have, right? So we can completely rely on plant-based protein.
Great. Um, so, what are some quick and protein rich plant based snacks suitable for those with a busy schedule?
Okay, so we can have nuts. Nuts are loaded with proteins, so we can have handful of nuts and seeds anytime we want. Today, easily, granola bars are available, but we should make sure that no refined sugar is added. So we have to select the bars accordingly, read the label properly because everything is mentioned in the label. If you see anything which has, refined sugar or too much of sugar with the you can identify with the help of the word OSE written, towards the last of the that means it's a kind of a sugar. So read it properly. So you can have granola bars. If you are at home, you can have hummus, right? Hummus, which is made from chickpeas. So you can have hummus with crackers. Rice crackers are available, which are low carb snack, right? We can even have hummus with some vegetable sticks like carrot, beetroot, and cucumber. Nut butters we can easily incorporate in our diet, almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter, right? And again, before buying such butters, also please do see if they do not have any kind of added sugar. If you want any sugar laden wala cheese, so try and opt for jaggery or dates, which is easily available again, right? So we can include such snacks. And other snack which you can also include is sprouts. Sprouts is a very healthy snack, and again, it's very easy to make and easy to carry anywhere. So you can have sprouts also. And in case if you're at home, you can make, tikkis, which is, lentils based or legumes based. Again, they are, protein rich and very filling and tasty.
Great. I think these are very helpful, ideas for snacks. What do you suggest in terms of do you recommend any brand in terms of nut butters?
Yes, so nut butter, which I personally have used, is of a Just Amazing brand is there. Then other brands which are there of Yoga Bar, it's actually good. Whole Truth is another brand, which genuinely they do not add any kind of sugar or anything, so you can use that also. And another brand for nut butters, if I can recall, is I think Happy Jars.
Yes, happy jars. Uh,
Yes.
Great. Great. So, why is it important to incorporate a diverse range of plant-based protein into one's diet, and what benefits does it bring?
Okay, so this question I've already answered, but we need diversity, right? Plant foods, as I mentioned, not a single food contains all the nutrients, right? So we need to have, all kinds of plant foods on a day-to-day basis. At least try and aim for 2 to 3 servings of fruits, 4 to 5 servings of, vegetables daily. Whole grains, just don't focus on, normal wheat roti. Try and include all the millets also, and since winter is already here, so you can easily have millet roti. Then we should also include different kind of legumes and lentils like chola, rajma. We have yellow ghugni. We have then we have in dal also we have different varieties. Try and focus on wholesome dals like green moong dal, chilka moong dal, right? So they have much more protein as compared to the ones which are, skin removed, right?
Mm,
Nuts and seeds should be incorporated. Include a variety. Just do not consume almonds on daily basis. So you can just, make a change. Sometimes almonds, sometimes walnuts, sometimes pistachio, sometimes cashews. I don't know, cashews are just considered as one of the worst foods because people are usually using cashews, the ones which are deep fried, as a snack. But cashews are, again, since it's coming from a plant based source, it
mm.
does not have cholesterol. I don't know, people have this mindset कि cashew में बहुत ज्यादा cholesterol होता है. But ऐसा नहीं है because it is deep fried as a snack, which is available in market. That's the reason it might, give you cholesterol issue. But any food which is coming from a plant source does not have cholesterol except for, our refined oils, which I do not again recommend to use. But other than that, if we focus on any other food, they do not have cholesterol. So you can have cashews also, right? So we need to have diverse, everything in our diet.
Great. Thanks for that. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I agree. Most of them keep saying that cashews do give cholesterol to diet, but I also believe there is a difference between good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So
True.
most of the cholesterol that comes from animal based is actually bad cholesterol, and the one that you have in plant based diet is good cholesterol. And I also think that good cholesterol, if I'm not wrong, comes when it's self-produced in your body and it's not taken from other source. Because cholesterol is produced by liver. So plants do not have liver, so they do not produce cholesterol. Whereas animals do have liver, so they produce cholesterol. So that is the difference, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, definitely.
Great. Can you elaborate on how plant-based protein can support individuals in their weight management goals?
Yes. So as I had mentioned that macronutrients are of 3 types, that is proteins, carbs, and fat. And everything after, digestion comes down to last molecule is fat itself, right? So protein, which is found, in plant-based food, as I like, it's very clear that plant-based food, they do not have cholesterol. The calorie content is also, much less as compared to animal food. It does not have any unwanted fats also. So the fat which is found in plant foods are actually healthy fats, which which is needed by our body for proper functioning of all the vital organs, especially brain, right? Because brain is actually made of 70% fat, right? So if we indulge into plant-based diet as the main source of protein or diet in general, we will actually not gain much weight, and we'll start losing the unwanted weight which we have because we are not adding too much of calories. And when you're on a plant-based diet, to be very honest, I never focus on calorie part because it does not need to be focused on calorie or for portion control or for you have to measure and eat. All these are just not needed if you are on a plant-based diet. But yes, if you're on a plant-based diet and if you're having french fries, coke and such things, then obviously you need to focus on your calorie part also, and then it becomes very difficult for a person to manage weight also, right? So when I talk about plant-based diet, I'm talking about wholesome food plant-based diet, that is your fruits, vegetables, beans, legumes, nuts and seeds, and not the junk food, right, which is made from plant-based diet.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the terms of junk food as well. There was a time in my life after I turned plant based, junk food was much accessible. Then planning my, nutrition, I thought, it's easier for me to just get on junk food and it not help me at all. So, yeah. So Miss Sana, I would before I ask the audience to ask questions, I have one last question for you. Can you give me at least one or two testimonials of your patients from whom you have reversed any diseases through a plant-based diet?
Yes, I do have, but how do I share that?
I mean, what are the steps you exactly took for them to reverse their disease? You can give the example of what disease they had as well.
Okay, so as such, there are many. So I'll talk about first one patient who had diabetes. Okay, so his HbA1c was somewhere around 8. Okay, and after he followed the plan which I have made for him, so in the plan, timings are kept constant as per the individual. Only the fillers are given from morning to night what the person has to eat. And obviously, in the diet, the person has to completely restrict or refrain from any kind of animal based food, be it non-vegetarian, be it dairy products, because to get immediate and fast result, disease reversal, we need to focus on plant-based diet. So I include, fruits, salad, soup, and lunch and dinner. Usually I keep it very, constant because I don't want to indulge too much into ki, for lunch you make this curry and this roti, this dal or this curry, because it becomes very difficult for a person to do that, because everybody in Calcutta, at least, they stay mostly in joint family or something. So they tend to eat what is, made at home, right? So lunch and dinner part is constant, except for the fact that they should not consume any kind of refined flour or deep fried food. Rest all are given as per the needs of the client. And within 2.5 months he actually reversed his diabetes. He was not taking any insulin because the HbA1c level was not very high also, so
Mhm.
he was taking just the normal medication twice a day. And within 3 months, yes, his HbA1c came below 6, and he didn't have to take any medication. And he was a young fellow only, hardly, I think, 30, 31 age, right? So he did not even believe the fact that he could actually, reverse diabetes. He was under the impression, as told by his parents and doctors, keep एक बार आ गया है diabetes, you have to take the medicine lifelong, right? So that was the time when he did not want to take medicine lifelong and wanted to give lifestyle change a try. And now he is so fit and so healthy, and most importantly, he's very happy because he does not have any disease.
Wow, that's a great testimonial, and especially the age of 31. It's very young to have diabetes, and I'm glad that there's a good testimonial about reversing it as well. So anybody else here in the audience would like to get in touch with Miss Sana? I have posted her website details. You can just go through it. She has her number also posted there, so she does take individual consultations as well. So yeah, feel free to get in touch with her for your consultation. I would like to now open the floor to audience to ask questions if you have any doubts regarding today's topic, that is the protein intake on a plant-based diet. So will plant-based diet affect a person's recovery after a surgery, as it is believed non-vegetarian food helps in quick recovery?
Yes, so as we know that non-vegetarian food might help in faster recovery, but after surgery, we all know the body, is actually inflamed from within. Inflammation hota hai हमारे body में when we, undergo surgery or when we have any kind of infection, right? But if we consume too much of animal-based food, that inflammation, actually increases. So instead of, matlab faster recovery, we actually you're doing, much more harm to our body. So if you are a plant-based diet, it might take little longer, as in maybe just a few days here and there. ऐसा नहीं कि there'll be a vast difference, but the overall improvement that you will see on a plant-based diet will be terrific. And just want to share one of my clients' thought on this. So there is this person, he is, I think, 50, 55 years. I don't know his exact age, don't remember. So he was sharing this thing with me that once he met an accident, and he's a complete vegetarian as such that time. But when after the accident, doctors advised him to have egg on daily basis for faster recovery, so that more protein is also added in the body, right? But you know what he did instead? He did not listen to the doctor, and he started, consuming a variety of nuts and seeds on day-to-day basis, apart from the normal diet that he was having.
Mhm.
He could not even imagine that the recovery was faster, and the strength that his body got. He did not even think that he'll be able to, walk that fast after, consuming that just variety of few nuts and seeds on daily basis.
Wow. Wow, that's a very good example you have there. So we have one more question from Krishna Chandarath. What impact of fruits on diabetes?
Okay, so it's just a myth that people should avoid fruits when they have diabetes, right? Because fruits, yes, they do have sugar, but that is natural sugar, okay? And fruits just does not come with sugar. It has fiber also intact with it. तो किसी को भी अगर diabetes है, they can easily eat all kinds of fruits, but the rule is one fruit at a time. You cannot have a platter of fruits, you cannot mix many fruits at a time, but you can incorporate any fruit. You can have mango, you can have watermelon, because these two are mostly set for diabetic people not to have, as they are, high on sugar, but they are high in fiber too. So जब भी आप fruits खाते हो, the sugar level does not just, spikes because of the fiber which is present. So you can easily have fruits even if you're diabetic. And the best time to have fruits is usually, when you're empty stomach, maybe in the morning time or towards, a little bit evening time after your lunch is done, maybe 2.5 hours post lunch you can have. Do not combine fruit with, lunch and dinner. It's just not advisable.
Thank you for that. I know this is very common myth that the first thing that even the doctor tells you is stop eating fruits, don't eat mangoes.
Yes.
My parents, especially my father, he has a sweet tooth, so he loves mangoes. And the first thing the doctor told is since he started taking insulin, is not to have mangoes.
Mango.
And even I was convinced with this idea. So I always, even I restricted him from eating any kind of fruits. And then more I read, I understood like it's more about what is spiking your insulin, right? What is spiking your sugar level? So apparently fruits don't spike your
Spike your sugar level.
yeah, because natural sugar, and it has sucrose and fructose
Yes.
and galactose as well. But whereas and that's why the spike in insulin happens, as well as what I've heard. Thank you for that explanation, Miss Sana. So, any other questions from the audience? What is your view on raw foods versus cooked food?
Okay, it's a good question.
Yeah.
So obviously raw food has much more nutrients intact, because when we cook food, nutrients actually, go down, right? But there are certain foods whose nutrients increases when we cook. Okay. So we can rely on both raw food and cooked food in our diet. But the problem with cooked food is that you should consume it immediately. You should not keep on reheating the same food again and again, because if you constantly reheat cooked food again and again, जो भी उसमें nutrients are left, everything goes away. It becomes a dead food. For the sake you're thinking that you're eating home cooked meal, right, and it's healthy, but it's actually doing nothing. मतलब it's not giving you good health also, and nothing. It's just a dead food you're eating. So the only idea behind cooked food is that do not reheat again and again. Consume it very day. Do not keep it for next day, after 2 days in refrigerator. Do not do that. And yes, raw food should be included in a day-to-day diet in form of salads or something, soup, Soup also comes under kind of raw food category only because not too much of heat involvement is needed in that, right? And you can even do juicing part with the raw vegetables. And coming to juicing, we should avoid fruit juices because that causes spike in sugar level, right? And vegetables, on the other hand, they do not spike your sugar level. So you can juice your raw vegetables as well. But for people who have thyroid, they should just avoid cruciferous family on having raw food.
Acha, acha. Wow, thanks for that insight, Ms. Sana. Mr. Krishna has also asked one more question. Please give examples of vegetables which are more beneficial when cooked.
When cooked. Okay. So we have onions. Onions can actually enhance their nutrients when cooked. Carrots we have, and broccoli. Broccoli, if you just sprinkle a little bit of mustard seed powder, the amount of nutrients which are available enhances fourfold. So
Oh,
these are few. Yes, so broccoli should always be cooked with little bit of mustard seed powder in order to get maximum nutrients from broccoli. And since winter is already here and you get plenty of broccoli now, do indulge in broccoli because it's one of top 10 cancer reversing food. So do consume broccoli on day-to-day basis, at least till winter is here.
I mean, you explained very beautifully. I did not know that adding mustard powder can increase the, bioavailability of broccoli 4 times more. It's a very good insight. I'll definitely use it. I'll definitely try it out as well. I've also heard even mushrooms, if you keep it in the sun
Sunlight
before you cook it, increases their bioavailability as well.
availability,
Yes, yes. I think it's vitamin D mostly.
D. True.
Great. Great. Thank you for the wonderful questions you're asking, Mr. Krishna. We also have Miss Jaya. Do you have any questions, Miss Jaya? So since we have two participants, how do we contact you? So I have shared the link called
That's what
in.
I'm already a vegan for 5 years.
Okay,
Current,
okay.
Currently, I'm affected with the bronchial asthma little bit because of vitamin D and vitamin B12 is very low for me.
Uh-huh.
Probably I may consult Sana for this thing.
Yeah, that sounds good. You can actually click on, I will just share the website again. It's called purplecabbage.in.
No, no, that's what I already following saranindia.org. I'm a follower of Nandita Shah.
Oh, great, great. So, Mr. Krishna was asking the question. So, for Mr. Krishna, I have also shared the website with you called Purple Cabbage. You can click on it and you can see she has put her phone number also on that website. So, get in touch with her. Also, after the session, we'll be sending the email with her email information as well. So, you can get in touch with her through email as well.
Good. Okay. Probably, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for speaking, Mr. Jaya Balan. Um, so right now I can see it's 11:54, and we can start with the closing remarks. And if I would encourage both of you to switch on your cameras as well, as we're gonna take a group picture towards the end. We can see a last question from Krishna sir again. How do we increase vitamin B12 and D by plant-based diet?
Okay. So sadly, vitamin B12 and vitamin D are not available on a plant-based diet. We really need to include certain supplements for the same on day-to-day basis because mostly vitamin D and B12 are found only in animal foods, right? So we need to take supplements on and off for vitamin B12 and D to stay on a level.
Yes,
The
yes.
injection is required for here in for vitamin D and B12 because I even though
Depends.
I've taken supplements, looks like the levels are little bit low, like around 10 points are it is going below the required amount.
It
Uh,
depends actually. If the level is way low, matlab, just suppose vitamin D, it should be above 50. For people whose vitamin D is like suppose a 7, 8, which usually comes, on a blood test.
No, due
So
to vitamin
then,
D only, I got affected with the asthma. So that is what
okay,
that is what it is causing.
yes,
So
yes,
I have supplemented and I have exposed myself to the sun and everything, but still it is not absorbing the required vitamin D in my body. So I am a vegan. I am a vegetarian for a long time. Still, the required nutrients are apart from this. I don't have any diabetes, hypertension, nothing. So everything is perfect. Only due to this deficiency, which is caused this flu affected with asthma, little bit. Now I'm able to recover fast because I'm following a vegan diet. I know that what are the things I need to consume, what are things I need to avoid. Even though I'm not consuming any dairy products, so if you're consuming more dairy product, probably the mucus formation, other things
it
will
will be
be.
more. So you need not consume any kind of animal food just to, get
Correct,
vitamin
correct,
D.
correct, correct. Anyway,
Yes,
we are having so much things in the Saran India. The lot of recipes available and everything.
yes,
Consultation. Probably I need to go for something personalized consultation to improve my health. Yeah, bit
definitely.
I'm now I'm become underweight. My BMI also come down. So probably I need to improve in the weight gain and other stuff.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Jayabalan, for talking so much and sharing insights about your journey in your plant-based diet as well.
Yes, yes.
So we have come to an end of the session, and I would just like to thank everyone for being part of this. Thank you, first of all, Sana ma'am, for taking your time out, precious time out, and being coming on a Sunday on this platform and sharing your insights about the plant-based protein. I also would like to thank Mr. Krishna and Mr. Jaya for sharing your delightful insight and asking questions and keeping it very interactive. We will be posting this video also on our YouTube channel. So do follow us, Food and You 2.0 on YouTube as well. We will be coming up with more and more sessions. Every month we have two Ask Me Anything sessions. So watch out for more sessions and more nutritionists. Thank you so much again.